Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kung nais umasenso, manap na ng trabaho, o di kaya'y subukan. Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kung nais umasenso, manap ng trabaho, o di kaya'y subukang magnegosyo. Lumikha ng produkto't sikaping lumago, inspirasyon mong pagkapiko. Katuwang ng gobyerno sa iyong tagumpay, iisa ang ating hangarin. Pag may abilidad at oportunidad, tiyak na ang lahat ay uunlad. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Walang iwanan, go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Sulong Pilipinas, go, 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 kababayan. Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kaya huwag magtipid sa iyong mga pangarap. Sige-sige sa pagsisikap. Asenso'y sigurado sa hinaharap. Manalig lang palagi sa sarili. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Walang iwanan, go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Sulong Pilipinas, go, 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 kababayan. Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kang magnego kaya natin yan. Kung nais umasenso.
Happy Friday and Happy Consumer Welfare Month! Welcome sa atong programang Negosyante Konsumante. Ug kauban gihapon ninyo sa inyong programa. Ako si Julie Nieva Costales from 11 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. dinhi lang sa RPN DXKO 13.68 kHz para sa Cable Channel 5 ug sa official Facebook page sa RPN Cagayan de Oro. Mga ka-trade, ang Consumer Welfare Month atong gi-celebrate every October of the year, no? Further promote ato ang awareness to ang consumer rights and responsibilities ug kauban ang usabang ato ang consumer nga mga welfare. Ang ato ang Consumer Welfare Month celebration dinhi sa amihan ng Mindanao officially nag-kick off ug usa ka fun bike ride dinha sa Camino. Sundan kini siya og motorcade sa Misamis Occidental ug mga media briefings. Aduna usab mga different nga activities sama sa mga provincial quiz bowls, mga vendors quiz ug mga seminars para mas mapakusgan nato to information education campaign. Karong adlaw atong ubanan or atong pagbisitahon ang Misamis Occidental para atong mahibawan ang ilahang mga activities karong bulana.
Welcome sa atong 9th episode sa Let's Talk Misamis for 2023, our Italakayan and Media Forum for Misamis Occidental. Let's Talk Misamis is a venue where we will discuss anything and everything about Misamis Occidental. I am Jamruka for Let's Talk Misamis. This is a special episode because it is face-to-face and we have our media friends in need and provincial. We are so thankful. And of course, spearheaded by the Department of Trade and Industry Misamis Occidental. For the entire month of October, we are celebrating Consumer Welfare Month. Unsa ang mga activities na giset sa DTI for the month of October this year. When we say consumer welfare, unsa atong mga benefits as consumers and atong mga katungod. This year ang tema is more on sustainability. How can we translate sustainability sa atong pang-adlaw-adlaw ang kinabuhi as consumers? Can we practice sustainability? Unsa ang mga pamaagi niini? Let me introduce our guests. We have, of course, the Provincial Director of DTI Misamis Occidental, Provincial Director Luz Galda. Kauban po nato ang Consumer Protection Division Head, Ma'am Marites Alcampano. And of course, we have the Environmental Sustainability Officer sa LaSalle University. We have Engineer Ismael Laroy. Okay, by the way, we are live sa atong FB page, PIA Misamis Occidental. Alright, so let's start already. So let's go to PD Luz. PD, we are celebrating Consumer Welfare Month for the whole month of October. What's ang specific tema for this year? And what is the relevance of this theme sa atong mga consumers?
Okay, may hapon, kanatong tanan. First of all, sa di pa ko mo answer dyan, no? Our sincerest gratitude to Mayor N.D. Waminal and our very hardworking Governor Attorney Henry Sevilla Waminal for allowing us to conduct this activity today and for their full support for the celebration of the Consumer Welfare Month. Now, ang atong tema for this Consumer Welfare Month is Generation S, Generation Sustainable. This is actually the sub-theme of the 7 R's of sustainability adapted from the Consumers International and other organizations, which are the Rethink, the 7 R's, Rethink, Refuse, Reuse, Reduce, Recycle, Repurpose, and Repair. Now, kung sa ka-importante ang sustainability sa atong mga consumers. Now, the consumers are it's very important ang consumer, they play a very crucial role in driving sustainability outcomes. With every purchase ang ilang pagpalit, individuals have the power to make a positive impact on the environment, the society, and the economy. So by choosing products and services that are environmentally friendly, socially responsible, and economically viable, consumers can create a more sustainable future.
All right, thank you for that, Ma'am Luz. You mentioned about buying products, Ma'am Luz. There are so many products in the market. All are very attractive. Wapo kaayo na ang mga packaging. What should consumers choose in order to be a responsible consumer? And what does it mean to have a sustainable lifestyle? Will my choice of products to consume have an impact on sustainability?
Okay, as a consumer, you start in the purchasing decision. Now, there are some ways that consumers can drive sustainability outcomes. One is you can choose or mamili ka products with minimal environmental impact. Example, you choose a product that made of recycled materials such as paper or pwede ang plastic basta recyclable na siya, no? Di single use. Then this reduces the demand for new materials and helps to conserve the natural resources. And similarly, choosing products with minimal packaging reduces waste and helps to reduce pollution. Another is you can support companies with sustainable practices. And then another one is to buy locally. Now, you can help the micro, small, and medium enterprises in our locality, no? Nga ang ilang i-produce ato ang i-patronize. And then, also you can choose products with a long lifespan. Dili ta magsigig pamalit ng mga short span ang life nga ang may tabo mo paingon ra gyapon sa landfill ang atong waste materials. And then, of course, look for certifications. Like, for example, Forest Stewardship Council or FSC, dili pa kayo siya popular in the Philippines, but in other countries, ginatanaw na nila, no, nga. Kani siya mag-indicate nga ang product has been produced in a sustainable manner. And the last one maybe that I can suggest is vote with your wallet. That means you as consumers can use the purchasing power to support companies and products that align with their values by choosing that are environmentally, socially responsible. Consumers can send a message to companies that sustainability matters and encourage them to adopt a more sustainable practices.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, PD So importante gid kayo nga kita as consumers, we select what we buy, di lang kay what's the trend. We have to think about our environment.
Yes, Jan.
Okay. Ma'am, why is sustainability of all the pwede na topic for the theme for this year? No, why is sustainability being highlighted for this year's celebration of Consumer Welfare Month?
With the climate changes and the calamities that we experience, it's very important also to educate and to make the consumers aware that sustainability matters in our society now. Remember that sustainability is the ability to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So at present, we have to educate the consumers that we have to be responsible consumers and that we choose sustainable products when we consume.
Last one before I go to Engineer Ismael. And of course, the media will have their time later on to ask questions. What is the big role of consumers to attain this generation sustainability? And is this targeted, ini ang campaign targeted sa mga kabatanunan?
As I mentioned earlier, as a consumer, halos kita tanan konsumante man gyud. So we have a big role for what we call this, for promoting sustainability. And this sustainability is not only targeted for the young generations. We as adults, we can start now, as a consuming public, to be conscious by using the 7 R's: rethink, reuse, implementing the 7 R's in the way we decide in purchasing our products and in consuming the goods that in our daily needs. So mao na unsa ka importante, so dili lang kay ang para sa mga batanon, we can start it now.
Any age? There's no age limit.
No age limit.
Okay. Alright, thank you, PD. Now let's go to Engineer Ismael Rubis. Ang Environmental Sustainability Officer sa LaSalle University. Engineer, so many of our consumers, including myself, we just buy anything from the market without thinking of the environment. Is it important to think about the environment, even if we are just buying something for ourselves? I mean, what are the usual products that are dangerous to the environment?
Okay, so good afternoon, Ms. Chang. Regarding that one, everyone is actually part of taking care of our environment. And if you will be asking, even you as a buyer or even you as a consumer, should I be given that kind of responsibility to take care? The answer is really yes. Definitely yes. And to expound that one further, we know, all of us know that we are actually living in a common home. And everything that surrounds us is common to every one of us. We are breathing that same air in the environment. So just like for this case, if I have to share, last 2014, this one is regarding the unusual increase of the temperature in the globe, because the United Nations had found out that there is an unusual increase of the temperature around our Earth, even though that they are already banning the use of the CFC, because the CFC can actually iyang ipa-aggravate ang buhok sa ozone layer, causing a lot of heat towards our Earth. Now, in 2015, they have found out that there is this one country only in the whole Earth that we have that is still making use of CFC. It was banned in the Montreal Protocol around 1990s. But this country cannot really, hindi siya kapugong na dili mo gamit ang CFC. So by 2015, they found out that instead that we should slowly have an increase in the temperature that we have, in 2015, there is what we call as a drastic change of temperature. And that is why the United Nations did say that this is abnormal. So imagine that one. Only one country out of the many countries that we have on Earth is doing that one, but that one is affecting everyone. So what you are doing, even if you are buying, if what you are buying can actually harm the environment, then that one can also harm the others.
Very good point. We live in a shared
Community.
That's correct. Thank you, sir, for that. You mentioned about katong sa mga countries are affecting everybody. What is the state of our environment, or what's the state of Earth right now? Can we still live in the next 20 years na healthy and we're still alive, or will we still have a livable Earth in the next 50 years?
Okay, so maybe I can answer that one in 2 points. The first point has something to do with the current temperature that we have. And the second point has something to do with the current resource that we have. So maybe we'll start with the first point regarding the current temperature that we have at this time. So 2022, as per declared by the NASA, they have found out that since the baseline temperature in 1980s, they found out an increase of 0.9 or 0.86 to 0.9 degrees Celsius of the Earth temperature. So, and yun po, so it's getting hotter. And the past 10 years that we have is actually the hottest portion among all the decades starting from the 18th centuries. So imagine that one, that we have this community that is already getting warmer. All of us, I think, at this room, we're already around 30 and above. So, kasagaran siguro nato mga hamtong na diari. And I think every one of us in here knew that this is not really the temperature that we are living when we are born. We used to play outside, but this is not the temperature we are living at. So, that's the first point. We're actually getting warmer. So, the question is, what's with the temperature? What's with the increase of the temperature? Why should I should take care or take it into consideration in my living? The point is, all the human can actually adapt from it. Ikaw, ako, so every one of us in this room can actually adapt from that one. We have air conditioning units, so therefore we can cool ourselves. But there are those aspects in the environment that we have that can adapt, but adaptation will create harm to our environment. Just like, for example, the dengue case. The dengue case that we have is actually towards the low-lying areas. It's not going to the upland. Wala kayo na dengue sa upper portion sa bukid. But because of what they call as adaptation, every organism that we have in the surrounding will really tend to adapt in order to live. Therefore, they have to go up so that they can adapt for the environment or any changes in the temperature. And this is now what is happening. There are what we call as rising different species of dengue virus. It's not only dengue 1, it's not only dengue 2, we have 3, we have 4. So, just like the COVID, once you have in that environment, they tend to adapt. So, the adaptation of each and every organism is actually a big factor with respect to the change in temperature. The second point can be raised towards the resources that we have. I have a professor last 2003. I did graduate in 2005 during my bachelor degree as a chemical engineer in MSc-YIT. So this one professor did say, by 2050, we will be depleting our fossil fuels. So that's his inclination. He kept on talking about it. And it's not only that professor that I have who has that idea. When you try to scan articles now, most of the scientists did say that we are running out of fossil fuels. Point, there are 3 classes of fossil fuels. The first one is the natural gas. The one that we use in LPG, that one is a natural gas. According to one of the scientists, that natural gas that we have will deplete by around 2060. That's one. The other one is the one that we commonly use as a fuel to our cars. So the gasoline, the kerosene, those actually are part of what you call as petroleum. And based from the analysis of the scientists, it will deplete by 2053. So there is an early depletion of fossil fuel. And the last one, the one that we have powered to our coal-fired power plant. So you call that one as coal. So if we have the one in Kauswagan, the GN power plant, that one is powered by coal. If we have the KG in Panaon, that one is also powered by coal. And based from the analysis of the scientists, it will deplete by 2070. So 2023 at this moment, the earliest to deplete is 2053. Maybe at this time you cannot feel, okay, maybe we can adapt someday. But remember, those fossil fuels that I mentioned to you are actually what we call as precious resources. That are the resources where we derive the medicines. That are the resources that we derive our common basic necessities in life. So, point is, if we cannot take care of this, what we call as depleting resources, then tendency is it will never sustain the next generation. So, just 2 points. Ang dami pa pong points that we can share, but for this limited period of time, those 2 main points can actually a factor why we should have this towards our consuming.
Thank you so much, Engineer. Yeah, na-inform me. Again, thank you so much. What is the result? You mentioned ilan na lang na years na we're getting, atong resources, the precious resources will be depleted. But what is the result if we do not care of our environment, if we don't start now? And what are the small steps we can do as consumers to protect the environment or care for Mother Earth?
Okay, maybe I can start with the first question po, regarding what's the result. So, that one, earlier I did mention it already that if there will be an increase in temperature, there is a need to adapt. And it is not only us who will adapt, but also the organisms that we have in our surrounding. And also, for the case of Misamis Occidental, I think if you will have a flight and then you will have an aerial view of how Misamis Occidental looks like. If you will have a flight at around 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon going to Manila and you will try to look at the aerial view of our Miso, you will really find out that the river banks that we have in the major river are already eroded. I'm not saying that it is mainly caused by man-made activities, but even the upstream, it was already eroded. Because when there is a big rain, climate change is already happening. So when you say climate change, there is what you call as a huge amount of rain at this point, and then you have the high heat, you have the low heat, the colder temperature. So what happened is that in Misamis Occidental, with that volume of water that was received by our Mount Malinda, it tends to erode the river banks. So if you will try to have an aerial view, yung talagang major river bank ng mga rivers natin, they are really eroded. That is why I came to realize to myself that my late times as a college student, so that was 2005, today is 2023, 2005, it's still a very good river. We have a very good Davao river. And one of the interviewees that we have when I came to interview some of the residents nearby the Mulikay Lava River that we have. The river in the Lava is actually can be passed by a balsa. So in other words, that one is still deep and not that wide. So medyo naulahin lang gamay no, na medyo wala kayo na aware ang tao that there is a need to plant along the river banks. The continuous erosion in the river banks tend to widen the river at this time. So that is one of the common cause if in case that we just have ourselves be less aware of regarding what to do with respect to the environment. That's one. And further, to the second point, this one is happening in Claring. Last 2021, I was, 2022, not 2021, 2022, that one is April. I was called by the DNR asking to retrieve a turtle. So every one of us would view that the turtle is just the one that we can pet in our household. So small turtle that we have, but it's not small. It weighs around 30 to 40 kilograms. That's big enough. I think that one is already covering a length of around 60 centimeters in length and around 40 centimeters in width. And imagine that one is floating in Misamis Occidental, but when we arrived in there, when we retrieved in there, it was already dead. And there were two of them. The other one is also a very big turtle. So I don't have the projector at this time, but if you allow me to share those research that we have conducted, we can actually share those data for everyone to be aware at this time. Now, regarding the first one that we have retrieved, when we get the turtle, that one is around 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we do the post-mortem analysis in La Salle University, Misamis. So, right after that one, we conduct the post-mortem analysis together with my colleagues, the biologists that we have, and the zoologists that we have. So, we ended up around 9 o'clock in the evening, finishing the post-mortem analysis. We started with the carapace, and then we started with the head, going to the esophagus, intestine, and so on and so forth. To the last point, the last one is actually the gut. Kanang gitawag nato nga kanang nanadapit sa atong dagkong tinaig, kanang padulungay na gawa sa katuang mga taig, kanang fecal matters nato. There, around 8 o'clock in the evening, when we try to get the fecal matter, and then we try to spread out the fecal matter, because we have to analyze the fecal matter, we found out a lot of plastics. So, point is, those plastics are actually coming from wrappers. So, food wrappers na, loose. And those plastics are actually coming from debris of some material. So, medyo sayangan ko sa turtle. The turtle is already quite big. So, and mas nasayangan ko itong isa pa dyan that is also bigger than the other one. So, our point is, if we are not aware, if all of the consumer in here are not aware on how to properly dispose those plastics that we have right after eating or consuming them, I think that one will really harm our next generation. So, that's my point. 2 points that I can share to you. And by the way, early also last March 2023, Clarin is once again calling me to retrieve the juvenile eagle. So, the same manner, it was dead on arrival upon the school when we received the eagle.
Alright, thank you for that, Engineer. Actually, matanong ako, what happens kasi, I mean, these are animals. What is the connection of these animals to us, humans? If they, like for example, mamatay sila din na what's the connection nila sa tuwa? I mean, is that something that we should be, like,
Yes.
look or...
Okay. So, every one of us are actually interconnected. You and the environment is actually interconnected. So, just imagine that one that we have the so-called food chain, okay? So, we have the producers, and then we have the consumers, and we also have the decomposer. So, there are those organisms that that lives in order to provide food to us. And there are those organisms that actually live in order for us to decompose, or to decompose easily what is being bring forth to the environment. Now, the interconnectedness is very important, and I hope everyone is aware of the 1987 Constitution, Article 2, Section 6. And that one is always highlighted in each and every ecologist and in every environmentalist book. And I hope everyone must know that we have a right for a healthy and balanced ecology in accord with the rhythm and harmony of nature. That one is a part of our Constitution. Everyone deserves to have a healthy ecology because they believe that what you do can actually affect the other. And if in case the other will be depleted, tendency is it might happen that other organisms cannot live because this one is already out.
Alright, thank you for that, sir. Yeah, well explained. Thank you for that, sir. And now we go to Ma'am Tess Alcamparo, Head of our Consumer Protection Division of DTI Misamis Occidental. So let's go back to the consumers. Ma'am, can you share to us, siguro what are the services of DTI in relation to consumer protection? And can they come to your office sa mga naireklamo regarding products, ilang napalit?
Okay, so good afternoon. Na-overwhelm ko sa explanation ni Engineer. It made me think and rethink 1 hour of the Gen S. So, without know, guys, are you with us? Are you with, o diba? Parang oh my God. Diba? Oh, so, back to consumer. Okay, for DTI Misamis Occidental, we have so many, plenty actually, DTI services in relation to consumer protection. Kung isulat kayo, kasi na-accountan. Okay. Actually, number 1, we have this market monitoring and enforcement for sa tanan na mandatory products. Samples ng mga mandatory products, we have electricals, construction materials, so appliances, those are samples of mandatory products. We do monitoring and enforcement, market monitoring twice a month, province-wide. Why will we do this? Because to assure nga tanan nga product na available in the market are certified nya by the way, si DTI, we are into markings. We are not technically capable nga usahay makadala pud ni og kanang caliper, no? Nga makakita ni sa unsa siya kabag-on. But almost always when we do monitoring, we are into looking at the markings of the products. What are these markings? Kabalo naman tano, for locally produced, we have PS mark, o katong product standard mark, nga katong murag globe. And of imported, we have ICC or import commodity clearance. So, kana siya twice a month, province-wide, ginatuyukan yun nato ang kanang tindahan nga sa Misamis Occidental. Also, we also have this price and supply monitoring for basic needs and prime commodities. Kani siya, by the way, si DTI is naami produkto nga under sa DTI. Okay? So, ayun daw niya na-adjoy mga question nga dili under sa DTI, but we also do like, kung naami order, kung naunahon lang ako, just like what happened at tong written secretary, naghata og order sa amuang to augment the monitoring of price and supply in the area kay kanang na ang for the Department of Agriculture. Agricultural products is with the Department of Agriculture. Kung sa may kang DTI, so katong canned sardines, milk, and so on. Katong manufactured na products. Okay? So, supply and price monitoring. That's monthly. Okay? Province-wide, gihapon na siya. Now we also have this consumer education. As far as barangay nga among masudlan, o mga eskwelahan nga among makandakan, naami aning gitawag nato og consumer rights and responsibilities, among ning ipahatod aron taas ma-increase ang awareness sa tanang konsumante. We also do retailers forum sa tanan nga mga negosyante. Aron maprotektaan gyud ang katungod sa matag konsumante. Now, we have this bulk waste program wherein this one is we will give and we will acknowledge and commend business establishments nga nagsunod sa mga trade and industry laws. So every October, daron kay October naman sad, no? Morning ni kick off nato ni siya nga activity kaganinang buntag motorcade nya karon Preston naatay awarding. And nagpaabot ni sa final listing na na-nominee for Misamis Occidental. And this will be done in Cagayan de Oro City. That will be last week of October. Okay? Also, katong giingon ni Ma'am Jam, nga katong naay mga complaints, we do redress of consumer complaints, no? Kaya actually, that is one of the right to redress. So kung kinsa nga konsumante makapalit og defective nga products o maka-avail o makahiagom og dili maayong serbisyo, under sa DTI, we do mediation. By the way, there is a province mediation man siya. Kung dili ma-resolve, that will be the time elevate na mo sa region for adjudication. So tanang complaints diha, bring it on. Also, licensing and accreditation. By the way, business name is one of the front line. Pero starting August 1, 2023, gipa sa among gilongs sa among secretary nga 100% online na for new renewal certification. Ang certification, yes. Ang nahibilin lang is upgrading and cancellation. But, daghan kaayot ang mga kanang negosyante nga dili wala internet, dili peke, dili magpa-assist gihapon sa kanini ang opisina. So, why licensing? Business name is one of the prerequisite to establish a business. So, ang mahitabo, wato sila sa office, aron mahimo silang legit. After which, they will go to the LGO for business permit. Okay? Accreditation, by the way, is for the service and repair shop. So, those are basic services that we have for the consumer protection and interest of the consumer. Ma'am Jan.
Alright, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, tama ba nila po, consumers or customers are always right?
Okay. Kana siya kana ni siyang the most abused statement. Okay? That is often misunderstood nga phrase. Customers is always right. Philosophy suggests and business should prioritize customer satisfaction above all else and do everything in their power to ensure that their customers are happy and satisfied. Now, kana po siya, as I've said earlier, that is often misunderstood. Kung naamang boy katungod si consumer, nasa siya responsibilidad. Okay? So, we have 8 basic consumer rights. But along that rights, come also 5 responsibility. So, kung si konsumante, example, siya ay nakaguba sa product, niya mo complain siya sa kuan. So, in your case, sa inyong tanaw, right pa kaya si consumer? Okay? So, dili yun siya sweeping statement. So, naa siya, although si business establishment, mo kinailang priority to cater kaning quality service to all consumers. Pero ang si konsumante na sad, in a bad light, nga murag mo abot sa point nga opportunista na sa kayang dating, I don't think so. Generally, dili yun siya nga customer is always right. If you have this right, you have also the responsibility. Yes, ma'am.
More exciting activities din sa amihan ng Mindanao sa atong selebrasyon sa Consumer Welfare Month 2023. Ato imbitahan ang ato ang mga interested nga mga naminaw og naglantaw sa atong programa no sa atong upcoming online consumer quiz karong October 20, 2023. Open kini siya sa general public 18 years old and above. Free atong registration no, bisita lang ta sa official Facebook page sa DTI Northern Mindanao para sa dugang detalye. Aduna sa mga ato ang upcoming October 23 karong October 23 ang ato ang regional consumer quiz, so watch out kung kinsa ang ato ang mga makadaog nga estudyante og eskwelahan, and sundan ka na siya karong October 24 sa tong regional Bagwis awarding kung asa tagaan nato recognition ang ato ang mga establishments nga nag-promote no or nag patuman og mga consumer rights and responsibilities sa ato ang mga konsumante. Mga ka-trade, mao ka na atong episode sa Negosyante Konsumante. Ako gihapon si Julie Nieva Costales sa ngalan sa atong DTI Region 10 Regional Director, Remedyo J. Abang. Mayong buntag sa tanan.
Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kung nais umasenso, manap ng trabaho, o di kaya'y subukang magnegosyo. Lumikha ng produkto't sikaping lumago, inspirasyon mong pagkapiko. Katuwang ng gobyerno sa iyong tagumpay, iisa ang ating hangarin. Pag may abilidad at oportunidad, tiyak na ang lahat ay uunlad. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Walang iwanan. Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Sulong Pilipinas! Go, 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 kababayan! Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kaya huwag magtipid sa iyong mga pangarap. Sige-sige sa pagsisikap. Asenso'y sigurado sa hinaharap. Manalig lang palagi sa sarili. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Walang iwanan. Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Sulong Pilipinas! Go, 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 kababayan!